Well, hello. We've got some important people in the audience I see with some stickers on. We want to welcome you to the Capitol, to the Rayburn Room. Today we're making a little history. First of all, some people will say it's a little history for the standpoint that you've got elected officials keeping their word. We made a commitment to America that we would bring a milestone bill, the Parents' Bill of Rights. And that's what today is all about. It's about every parent, every mom and dad, but most importantly, about the students in America today. You know, it's a pretty straightforward bill. We firmly believe that this bill's foundation is kind of on five pillars. And today, when you introduce a bill, it always is given a number. And in the majority, you're able to reserve the first through 10. This is H.R. 5 for a very important reason. When you turn about 5 is when you start going to kindergarten, right? You start your education. But this bill, by Julia Letlow, kind of sits on 5 main pillars. The right to know what's being taught in the school and for you to be able to see the reading materials, right? The right to be heard. So many times across this nation we found that parents were attacked, called terrorists, if they simply wanted to go to a school board meeting to be heard about what's going on. The right to see the school budgets and how they spend their money. The right to protect your child's privacy. And the right to be updated on any violent activity at the school. We think these are pretty basic things that everybody and every parent should have a right to. Because it doesn't matter if you're from Louisiana, Florida, Indiana, New York, or North Carolina, or even California. It doesn't matter the color of your skin, your wealth. When you have a child, that is the most important thing in your life. You'll give your life for that child. And one thing we know in this country is education is the great equalizer. And we want the parents to be empowered. And that's what we're doing today. That you have a say in your kids' education, not government, and not telling you what to do. So that's why I believe it's a milestone. That's why I'm excited about what's happening today. And I've got some great individuals up here joining with us, and what I'd like to do, have them say a few things, and then most importantly, we want to hear from the parents. And you can even ask us some questions. So let's start with our conference chair, Elise Stefanik. You want to say a few things? You've been on this bill for quite some time, working to make sure this day comes to fruition. And you know why she's smiling so much? Because she's got this young child named Sam that even smiles more. Happiest baby I have ever met. I love seeing Sam whenever I get the chance. Go ahead, Elise.
Well, thank you to our speaker. Thank you to all of you for being here today. It's great to see so many kids. It's great to see so many parents in support of the Parents' Bill of Rights. When I was first elected to Congress, I wanted to be on the Education and Workforce Committee because education was so important in my life. And my parents' advocacy to ensure that I had the best quality education, were it not for that, I would not have had the opportunity to serve my district in upstate New York. And Speaker McCarthy is right. There is nothing more life-changing than becoming a parent. I am the proud mom of Sam. As Kevin mentioned, Sam is 18 months, so I'm the newest mom in Congress, and we are proud to be standing up for families, for parents, for grandparents, but most importantly, for kids across this country. So thank you to Julia Letlow for introducing this bill. We're excited in this House Republican majority that we will pass this bill, and a thank you to my colleague, Chairwoman Virginia Fox, who has been such a leader on this issue as well.
Let's turn to our chairwoman, Virginia Fox, who education has been her life. She comes here as former president of a college. Her whole focus has been on education. She is the chair of the Committee on Education, and she has just been such a champion for the parents and the students. Chairwoman Fox?
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. And Mr. Speaker, in his opening comments, said education changes lives. It certainly changed mine. I grew up in a house with no electricity, no running water. And so education was absolutely the pathway for me. And I am so grateful to have the opportunity to serve in Congress and serve as the chair of the Education Committee. And I also am a parent and a grandparent And I know, as all the parents in here know, that children are our greatest blessing, and we will do everything we can to help those children succeed. And even though I was very poor, my parents insisted I do well in school. And I did do well in school because my parents were my first teachers and nurturers, and they wanted me to grow up to be a productive citizen. And that's what all parents want for their children. But what's happened over the years, and I've seen it because I've been a part of the education bureaucracy. I was on a school board for 12 years, is unfortunately the bureaucracy has branded teachers with a branded parents with a scarlet letter and called them terrorists. We cannot have the education bureaucracy call parents who care about their children, are involved in their children's education, radicals. That's not a radical idea, except if you think about our country being a radical idea in pushing freedom for everybody. That's abhorrent and antithetical to American values, and we want to stop that. And I want to say I'm proud of the number, you have the number 5, because it is my favorite number.
It's a very strong number.
number.
Well, this is H.R. 5. That means how important we think it is, but building on the 5 pillars. And the author of this bill, the Parents' Bill of Rights, she's a congresswoman, but she'd first tell you she's a mother to 2 wonderful children. And before she ever got to Congress, her whole focus was on education. And you know what? She never changed when she got to Congress, and she's proving it today by the Parents' Bill of Rights. Julia Letlow.
Thank you so much, Mr. Speaker. I am thrilled about today. I am so honored. Thank you for entrusting me to author the Parents' Bill of Rights. You know, I think the pandemic brought to light for a lot of us moms and dads, for the first time ever, we sat down and we saw what our children were being taught through the virtual classroom. And when we saw that, so many of us were disheartened with what we were viewing. And so then we did the right thing, right? We went to our school boards and we voiced our displeasure. But we were turned away, and some of us were even labeled domestic terrorists. That was absolutely not right. And so that was the impetus for this bill. That was it. Thanks to all of you in this room, for the parents, for stepping up and saying, no, enough is enough, and we are going to fight to make sure that our voices are heard, that we have a right to have a seat at the table when it comes to our children's education. This bill is going to ensure that moving forward. Thank you so much, Mr. Speaker, for this opportunity.
You know, you raised a very good point. The pandemic was so difficult for our entire nation. But the one thing that came out of it, we started seeing what was being taught in our schools. We saw seeing what they were reading. That's something we should have every day. But then we had to fight to find it out. And then when we fought to make our voice, we were attacked. No longer will that take place. You know, a new member to Congress, but not to a new member to working so hard, not just for his children, but for his constituents as mayor, Congressman Bean. Why don't you talk from Florida?
Speaker McCarthy, what an honor it is to be here. Thank you so much, Virginia Fox, Dr. Fox, thank you. To all the kids out there, I've got a question for you. All the kids or students, please, if you at least got to leave school early today, raise your hand. Hey, all right. That is certainly exciting. So I'm going to give you a little tip. All the kids, and I know we've got even some high schoolers here. Here's a little tip. Just tuck it under the way. Something Bean told you along the way is over the next several months, in fact, over the next year, anytime you're asked to do an essay, mention the fact that you were in Congress. When I was in Congress, this is what happened. So you're going to get a couple of extra credit by saying you spent the afternoon in Congress. It's a big deal that we're here today. I got to start the fight that Representative Letlow talked about, that our eyes were opened, what was happening in the classroom. We were shocked, and so we began to fight. I was part of the state legislature last year in the free state of Florida, where we had an empowering bill that really should be titled, Let Kids Be Kids. There's just a small window where kids have that innocence and let them enjoy it. And in fact, let's let them learn colors and addition and reading. We don't have time to learn anything that's inappropriate. So we passed that bill, and that is the start of a revolution. Now, you would think, who could be against letting kids be kids? Who could be against, when Speaker McCarthy talked about the bill about letting parents be involved in their kids' education, who could be against that? Well, I've only been here for 8.5 weeks, and you would be surprised. I know that every bill, even the ones that you think, who could be against that? There is a fight coming up on the horizon for this bill. I'm committed. We've got a great leaders, and I'm just happy to be a part of it. And guess what? Because you're here, you're now a part of it. So we're all a team. Let's go get it done.
Great words. And one thing to all the students, you're always given homework. This is your homework from here. You need to follow H.R. 5. So you follow, it's going to be introduced. You follow it through committees. Write your member. Advocate for what you believe in, right? And as we move this bill through, I'm going to invite you back. Because as long as you're not in high school 12 and under, we'll bring you onto the floor and we'll let you watch when we vote that bill and get it out, all right? You'll be some advocacy here for us. And our next Congresswoman, she's worked so hard on this subject even before she got here. Congresswoman Erin Houchin from Indiana, just working.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I am so honored to be part of this panel and this bill. I did work on this issue. I've been fighting what I call the educational industrial complex back in the state of Indiana for many years in the state legislature. I'm so proud to have been at the forefront of those fights. And when we fight to win. And that's exactly what we're going to do on this issue. Representative Letlow, Dr. Fox, thank you for leading the charge on this for these parents and these kids. It's kind of amazing to me that we even have to have a bill, because this seems like the schools should be doing this anyway. But we did realize during COVID that our kids were learning things and being exposed to things that parents were shocked by, to be honest. And the president in the State of the Union talked about starting kids as early as 4 years old. So that makes this even more critical that we get this done, and we will. And we do have a fight ahead, but you got several fighters up here that are there for you, and we appreciate you being here for us. Thank you.
Well, thank you all very much for the comments. But just how we even, before we wrote this bill, what we did, we went out and listened to parents. That's what Julia did, listen to parents. And today, we want to do the exact same thing.